my JMO family. This is your boy Big C back at you with another hot video. Like I always say, I won't stop, can't stop, gotta keep going. But I'm back with my JMO family showing much love. I want to thank you guys to start off the video by watching the last video, by commenting. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all my aunties, uncles, mama, daddies, brothers, sisters, grandmothers, grandparents, everybody out there that's part of the JMO family that shows love. I had to show love back, so thank you guys so much. We're going to jump right into it. I'm coming back with another reaction video. Last reaction video was about Michael Jordan. This one is about the Eagles. It's coming from the First Take family, the ESPN First Take with Stephen A. Smith. The debate, or I should say, the topic today that I will be reacting to is Stephen A. Smith said that the Eagles aren't done. So you guys are going to get to hear what he has to say, and then I'm going to give my opinion on it. But before I hop into the video, have to shout out one of my favorite JMO family members, my brother Dorian Childs, for leaving me a comment. Like I tell you guys, if you leave a comment, I will shout you out, and I will answer any questions that you guys may have for me, any sport topic questions that you may have. I'm willing to answer it. So Dorian, my brother, left a question from my last video when I was saying Jordan is better than LeBron, how Isaiah Thomas was crazy, in which he is still crazy. But my brother left a question. He asked me, do you think that the NBA, the current level of players, are of a higher caliber than that of the players during Jordan's era? So, do I think the NBA players of today are better than or at a higher level than the players back in Jordan era? I'm gonna say no to that. I have to say no to that. The reason I say no, the players of today, yes, they can jump higher. They can, they're stronger, they're faster. They might even know the game a little bit better. Maybe their basketball IQ is even higher today than how it was back in the day. But do I feel like the players today are better than the ones? No. Because the reason why is because the NBA has got so soft now. The NBA is so soft now that you can't even blow your breath from the player without getting a foul call. The player is going to get a foul call. If you sneeze in LeBron's way, he's going to the line to shoot free throws. You sneeze in Steph's way, they're going to the line to shoot free throws. The NBA has become so soft, and it's like I said, LeBron to me has no competition like Jordan had back in his time. Like I said, I named the players Jordan played against: Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Shawn Kemp, Isaiah Thomas. The Spurs, you had Timmy that played back then, but you had David Robinson, Gary Payton, Charles Barkley, Shaq, even Kobe at a later stage. But you had players who were competitive, and the NBA back then, you could put some of that on there. You could throw them bows like Ludacris back in the day. You could throw them bows. You could lay the wood on players back then, and it wouldn't get a foul call. You know, today you think about it, who's LeBron's really competition out in the East? Boston. But do you really consider them competition? If the playoffs was to start today and it came down to the Eastern Conference Finals and it was Boston and Cleveland, let's be truthful, what percentage you think would go with Cleveland over Boston? I'm pretty sure it'd probably be maybe 80-20. So, you know, and then you're not worried about any other teams in the East competing with Cleveland right now. Even though Cleveland looked bad earlier starting off this season, now they have hit their stride. I don't think anybody's worried about anybody in the East. And then now there's competition in the West, but in the East, there's nobody there for Cleveland to worry about. Back in Jordan's time, like I said, you had the Knicks, you had the Sonics. Oh no, they was in the West. I'm sorry. You had the Knicks. You still had Orlando that was still tough. Detroit was tough. You had teams in the East. I'm sorry, I'm losing, but you had teams in the East that was tough, that Jordan had to go against, that was not a cakewalk. You know, they might not even had the greatest players, or these players, some of the players on the East might not have been superstars, but because of the physicalness of the game, because you could throw a body, because you could lay some bows, you know, it made it tougher for Jordan and to win in the East. That's why they had to get a Dennis Rodman, because Dennis Rodman was tough as all get out. That man ate nails for breakfast. He was tough. And he could rebound, and now it wasn't as tall or big as some of the players he was rebounding against. But that's why the Bulls got him, because they needed somebody like that. They needed a rough rider. So that's why I think today's NBA players are not as good as the ones back in the day. Because today, the NBA has made the game a little softer. It's still a good product to watch. I still love watching the NBA. Still my favorite sport to watch. But the product is softer. And that's why I have to say no. The players today are not better than the players back in the day. Yeah, they can jump higher, they're faster, they may be even stronger, but because the NBA puts that limit on them, well, getting physical in the game, that hurts them a little bit. So I will go with the old school players over the new school players. But like I still love the NBA, I still love watching the product. But let's go ahead and jump into the video. Shout out to my boy, my brother, Dorian Childs. Great question. Keep those comments coming, people, and I will shout you out. But like I said, we're going to react to Stephen A. Smith talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. We all know Carson Wentz is out now for the rest of the season, torn ACL in that knee, that hit that he took yesterday. But Stephen A. Smith says they're not done, people. So let's go ahead and let's react to this video, and then I'll give you my opinion, let you know if I feel like they're done or not. Let's get it.
I slept on it a little bit, and I woke up this morning and I thought long and hard about this. And guess what? I'm going to tell you they're not done. I'm going to tell you that the Eagles are not done at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to act like Nick Foles could be some kind of savior. I'm saying exactly the opposite. It's not required for him to be the savior. And I look at the Eagles and the Rough Riders that they have. I look at the 9 different receivers that helped accumulate 333 yards passing last night between Wentz and Nick Foles. I think about that running game with Ajayi leading the way right now and Clement as well. I think about those receivers. Aguilar looks very, very impressive this year. What a vast improvement. Alshon Jeffrey is no joke. The tight end spot with Selleck and Zach Ertz and these boys. Burton as well. These brothers can play. And defensively, even though I didn't think they were ultra impressive yesterday, they made stops when they needed to make stops to put themselves ahead, and ultimately they got the job done. So I just look at them as a collective unit. I view the Eagles as the most complete team in the NFC, and I view Nick Foles as one of the better backups in the National Football League, who's familiar with Peterson, who's familiar with playing in an Eagles uniform, who's familiar with the system in place, and I think that there won't be a tremendous drop-off. And because of that, combined with the fact that I anticipate they will end up getting the #1 seed and making sure that the road to the Super Bowl has to come through Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, I think the combination of all of those things lends me towards saying it's not over for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a bad day, but it ain't over.
Okay. All right, Stephen A. All right, brother. We hear you there. All right. Now, your boy's turn. Big C, your boy's turn. Do I feel like it's over for the Philadelphia Eagles now that Carson Wentz is out for the rest of this year, out for the playoffs, torn ACL? Much love and respect to him. Like I always say, Carson Wentz to me is a beast. If you don't think he's a beast, you sleeping. Wake up. Throw some water on your face. Get the crust out your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Brush your hair, brush your teeth. It's time to get up. Carson Wentz is the next generation of great quarterbacks in the NFL. Wake up. Wake up. Come on now. Let's get them Chris Tucker eyes. Wake up. Come on. But do I feel like the Eagles are done? It all depends on what you say are done. What you say is done. Do I think the Eagles can get into the playoffs and make some noise? Yes. Even without Carson Wentz, I feel like they can still get into the playoffs and they can make some noise. Do I feel like they can win the championship without Carson Wentz? No. And I think everybody says that. No. So are they done? What do you say is done? If you're going to say, to me, done is not winning a championship, then they are done. If you're trying to go all the way to a championship and winning the whole thing, yes, the Eagles are done. Because I like Nick Foles. I think Nick Foles is a good, like Stephen A. Smith. I had to agree with most of Stephen A. Smith. I had to agree with most of it. Only thing I don't disagree with the defense, and I'll get into that in a minute. But I had to agree with most of what Stephen A. Smith said. Nick Foles is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. He had a starting position for a while there. He did good in Philadelphia for a while as a starter. He played pretty good. He had a good season under Andy Reid as a starter. He did good. He went to St. Louis with Jeff Fisher, and that's when he started going downhill. But Jeff Fisher, look what he was in when he was with my boy Jared Goff, who Eagles played this yesterday. Jared Goff looked like a hot piece of garbage last season. He looked like a bust. But they got rid of Fisher and look at Goff. Look at the St. Louis Rams, or the Los Angeles Rams, I should say, balling. So I do have to agree with Stephen A. Smith. I think Nick Foles is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL. So if your definition of done is at least getting maybe 1 or 2 playoff wins, because they're going to the playoffs, we already know they clinched. But if your definition is are they done? Are they going to at least get 1 or 2? They're not done if you're saying, hey, 2 playoff wins for this season is good for the Eagles. Then they're not done. They still have a long way to go. They got a long way. I think the Eagles can at least win 2 games in the playoffs. They can get 2 games. I think they can get to the championship game with Nick Foles as quarterback. As him being the leader of the offense of the team at quarterback, they can still get to the championship game. Winning the championship game, I'm gonna say no, but it also depends on who they're playing against. But I'm still say no. They're going against the Steelers or the Patriots. No, it's like, no. Wrap it up. I'm sorry, Philly. Wrap it up. But no. But yeah, if you're saying a good season is, hey, at least they got 2 playoffs wins. Carson Wentz went down, but they still got 2 playoffs wins, or they made it to the championship game. Yes, they are not done yet. Then you're right, they're not done. Now the only thing I had to debate, I would disagree with Stephen A. Smith a bit, is that defense. He said the defense didn't look great last night, and I gotta disagree. Even though St. Louis put up their numbers against them and it came down to the wire, the defense made the closing play. He fumbled Jared Goff with that pass, knocked the ball out of his hand. They made the closing play. And that's what you want your defense to do. You want them to make closing plays, especially when your quarterback goes down. And you know, at that time, you're not expecting for Wentz to go down. The team is still rolling. They still got a chance to win. Then they come to find out that he's hurt and he's out for the rest of the game. It's a close game. That can take a lot of air out the ball. Patriots. But no, that can take a lot of air out the ball. Take a lot of air out the stadium. But no, they didn't stop. They kept rolling, next man up, and they played tough. So I had to disagree with Stephen A. Smith. The defense looked good last night to me. I would still give them an A+ in my book on the defensive side. They look good. So it all depends on what you think. If you're asking me, are they done? If you're saying championship or nothing, then they're done. If you're saying at least get 1 or 2 playoffs win or at least get to the championship game, then they're not done. So it just depends on what you call as being done. You ask me, and I'll tell you what's done. You say championship or better, championship or nothing, they're done. At least 2 playoff wins, or at least make it to the championship game, they're still rolling. I believe they can still roll. I believe they can still do it. Peterson is a good coach. Got great pieces around him. Nelson Aguilar is balling this year. Alshon Jeffrey is stepping up, showing that he is a number 1 receiver in the NFL. Had that great catch where the ball was like about to hit the ground. Boom, those strong hands caught it, put it on his thigh and brought it up. That was a great catch by Alshon Jeffrey. Number 1 receiver type of catch. Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham type of catch. So I think Alshon is getting that number 1 position on lock down there in Philly. And like I said, Nelson Aguilar has really came along this year. Last year had a bunch of drops, looked at like hard garbage, like he was a bust. But came along. And like I said, if you're sleeping on Carson Wentz, it's time to wake up, people. He is the next best thing out there. He's better than Dak. I know Skip Bayless. He's better than Dak. So wake up, people. But that's my answer, people. Championship or nothing. The Eagles are done. At least at least winning some games in the playoffs or getting at least to the championship game. Then they're not done in my book. If that's what you're asking me, then they're not done. They're gonna do this. So my JMO family, it's your turn to shine. You tell me what you think. How do you feel? Leave those comments in that comment area down at the bottom. I will read them. And if I find a good one, like I always do, I will shout you out. Leave questions. I will shout you out. Let me know what you would like to hear. Let me know if you saw a debate from maybe First Take or from Undisputed or First Things First that you want me to talk about or feel. I will do it because you my people, you're my family, and I got love for you. So do it. Don't forget to always look me up on Instagram, chris.jmo.87, chris.jmo, just my opinion, .87. I will be looking for you guys. Appreciate the love from all my JMO family, and I'm out.